Alright, and welcome back to the Shardbreaker podcast. This is episode 8 of Mistborn, the Hero of Ages. We went through chapters 50 through 57 this week. I am Midnight, and I am here with Darkness.
Hello.
And Mythic.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú?
So we're going to go straight into it with chapter 50's epigraph, which is, "One can see Ruin's craftiness in the meticulousness of his planning. He managed to orchestrate the downfall of the Lord Ruler only a short time before Preservation's power returned to the Well of Ascension. And then, within a few years of that event, he had freed himself. On the timescale of gods and their power, this very tricky timing was as precise as an expert cut performed by the most talented of surgeons." Do you guys have any thoughts about that epigraph?
When I first read it, I was trying my hardest to figure out the timing of the events.
You have any thoughts, Mythic?
No, not really. I mean, surgeons.
So we start this chapter with Vin's point of view as the door to the cavern opens. Vin drinks down her last vial of metals and leaps up onto one of the freestanding shelves. She then jumps to just beside the door, standing against the wall, as a man steps into the cavern with a lantern. Vin slips around him and into the room behind him where a group of workers are holding ropes that they had used to open the stone door. Vin jumps at the trap door, but it's closed and she tries to force it open. The ladder breaks beneath her and she falls to the ground, using a coin to slow herself. The workers huddle off to the side, and the suited man turns and tells Vin that the trapdoor has a large rock on top of it. Vin tries to threaten the man to have the people above remove the rock, but the man tells her that she is the only Allomancer here, and that rock is not moving anytime soon. The workers then pull out some folding chairs, and the man tells her that he's a friend of Ellen's, which Vin soon recognizes as Teldon Hastings. So were you surprised that the person who came to see her was Teldon?
Yeah, I completely forgot about them.
Yeah, alright. I was like, who was Teldon? I mean, I knew that after. I kind of figured it out after, but like,
Yeah.
like, who the hell is this guy?
Were you expecting it to be like Yeoman or someone who came to meet her?
Yo, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Yo, man.
Teldon has one of the workers bring out 2 bottles of wine, one that is apparently normal and one that has a strong sedative. He pours a glass of each wine, drinking the normal one and handing Vin the one with the sedative. He tells her that he needs to get her to drink the wine with the sedative so that she can be safely brought upstairs. Vin says that she could make him give a signal to Yeoman to let them out without her being sedated, but Teldon says he knows enough about allomancy that she couldn't get him to be completely on her side, and that if she tries to force him by attacking him, his screams would let Yeoman know that Vin is forcing him. Vin says she could kill the Ska's servants, but then Teldon says that might eventually break him, but also mentions being able to tell that he can tell that she wouldn't do that. He says that she kills kings and gods and the occasional soldier, but not Ska servants. What do you think about Yeoman's plan here to make sure Vin couldn't escape? Just being like...
Pretty well thought out.
If I were her, I would have killed everyone there anyway.
Wow.
I mean, like, yeah, as soon as he said it, I was like, damn, that's a challenge.
Yeah, I got like so annoyed that I would have done it.
Damn, challenging her to fucking kill him. Alright, cool, man. Murders people all the time.
Teldon says that she can either starve down here and be useless, or she can drink the drugged wine. Vin thinks that unfortunately it's true that if she doesn't drink the wine, she'd just be useless down here, and who knows what would happen above thanks to Ruin. However, she wonders if burning duralumin and pewter would kill off the sedative in her blood, and then she could pretend to be unconscious. Vin takes the bottle, ignoring Teldon as he says that she was known to be decisive, and drinks a swig. The drug begins to take effect almost immediately, and Vin burns duralumin and pewter. This does stop the tiredness from taking her over, but as soon as her pewter is burnt out, Vin succumbs to the drug and falls unconscious. Did you think Vin's plan to...
I thought it was going to work originally, but...
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a pretty decent idea, but... I mean, Duralumin kind of burns it out, like, quickly, you know. I feel like it might have been better without the Duralumin.
You think it would have been better just to burn the pewter for as long as
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because, I mean, it would go longer, you know, but...
They say what they put in there?
I think they just say it's a sedative.
Oh, because I low-key thought they put the thing to take away elementic power.
Aluminum?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't. She does say in a later chapter that like the 2 ways to basically get a Mistborn without metals is to either give them aluminum or to basically just keep them unconscious until their body naturally kind of like gets rid of the metals. And she thinks
Which is
that's
kind
what
of
they did.
weird considering that they were told not to even fucking burn the metals in your sleep or whatever.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Don't sleep with it, and yet, you know.
And yet you're able to fucking burn it during your sleep.
Well, I don't think that she's burning it
They
during.
can digest
Well, I
it.
mean, they can
yeah.
kind of burn it during their sleep, but also I think it's just like, yeah, like your body just like breaks down the metal eventually.
Wouldn't that still mean it's in your body though?
I think it like breaks. I think it would like break it down in
I
your
don't
bones,
think
and also like
anything that the digestive system can do is gonna like get rid of the metal in your
I
body
think
in
they also
general.
might mean like when they say like pass through the metal, they might also just mean like you eventually like if you're held unconscious long enough, you kind of just pee yourself.
Yeah, that clearly didn't happen though. So
I don't know.
Yeah,
She
she's
doesn't have any
clearly
metal.
not. She's clearly not wet, so
they would have definitely described it.
I don't know.
I don't know. But they
I
would have
don't
at
know how
least said,
biology works very well. Okay,
"Oh,
I'm
you
not a
don't?
biologist.
You
No,
don't?
I'm not
Oh
a
my
doctor or
god!
anything.
I thought you were a doctor. What?
No, I'm not.
What? That's not your job? Oh,
No.
damn.
So that was chapter 50. On to chapter 51's epigraph, which is
Mhm.
once Ruin was freed from his prison, he was able to influence people more strongly, but impaling someone with a hemalurgic spike was difficult no matter what the circumstances. To achieve such things, he apparently began with people who already had a tenuous grip on reality. Their insanity made them more open to his touch, and he could use them to spike more stable people. Either way, it's impressive how many important people Ruin managed to spike. King Penrod ruling Luthadel at the time is a very good example of this. What do you think about the fact that Ruin can influence insane people,
Makes sense.
even if they're not spiked?
I mean, insanity, yeah.
It means their minds are, well, you know.
So wait, does that mean that he could influence Zane before he got spiked?
I don't know. Depends. If Zane may not have actually been insane.
I think he was insane. That man was definitely insane.
He might have been insane enough to not remove the spike, but he wasn't like insane enough to be completely controlled without a spike. Yeah, you guys have any other thoughts about that epigraph?
Yeah,
Thoughts do you have,
they
Darkness?
they said Vince's mother was crazy, right?
Yes.
I mean, she is crazy, so
So,
it's possible either she was spiked or she was just a maniac, and then Ruin was still.
bro, imagine Rin was her mother.
I imagine if that's the reason that she was crazy, though.
Yeah, maybe.
So we move to Ellen's point of view as he flies through the air, pushing off coins instead of doing the horseshoe trick like Vin does. He drops down to a section with less ash and runs for a bit, his mist cloak flapping behind him. He then begins pushing off of coins again as he hopes that Breeze and Sazed are having better luck in Urtio than he is here in Fadrix. Ellen is heading northeast to try to find some new Koloss to use to threaten Yeoman with. After a while, he sees light and then sees that it's a village where Koloss are attacking. Ellen targets one of the Koloss, pulling on its weapon and then spraying coins at it. The other Koloss turn to him, excited for a challenge. He takes the dead Koloss's sword, wondering if the Lord Ruler made his original Koloss out of the people who defied him, and then starts attacking the other Koloss. He notes that the group of Koloss in the village amounted to about 30,000, so he needed to get them under control before they annihilated the village. So were you surprised that Ellen decided to come fight a giant army of Koloss by himself?
No, not at all. Ellen's a badass, so.
Ellen needs help,
Ellen's having
I mean, I agree with that too, but he's still a badass.
I guess.
Eventually, a 12-foot Koloss comes at him, and Ellen deflects the Koloss's sword with his own Koloss sword, leaving the large Koloss dumbfounded by Ellen's strength.
Ellen has a giant fucking sword.
Ellen screams as he fights, hearing the people screaming and crying around him as he thinks that even he can't do enough to save this village. He thinks that he knows why people would lust for power when it means that he could protect the people that he currently can't. He saves a woman from being taken by shooting a bunch of coins at a Koloss, but still others are dying around him. He tries to take control of them, but he's unable to at the moment. The townspeople stay near him as he fights, knowing that Ellen is their best bet of staying alive. He shouts as he fights, thinking that he hadn't known how Vin could kill so many people until tonight. He wonders where the Inquisitor is and tries to take control of the Koloss again, and surprisingly he's able to. He doesn't understand how he took control of them all as he still hasn't seen the Inquisitor, and he wonders if it ran off. Do you think that there was an Inquisitor around, or was it just Ruin controlling these Koloss?
Probably Ruin, honestly.
Darkness, do you think there was an Inquisitor
It-
there, or no?
So, I want to say yes, simply because it's scary if he isn't there, but you know, because like then Ruin definitely wanted that to happen. Then
You think Ruin wanted Ellen to take the Koloss?
Possibly,
I wouldn't
yeah.
say take the Koloss, but I would say confront them like right there in front of all those people because of
Interesting.
the way they reacted. So,
Mm.
and also the fact that like you saw the way he fucking reacted after he killed so many of them, and he was like, you know what? This feel good, you know?
You think Ruin's trying to just get Ellen to do a lot of fighting so that he like kind of gives in to like killing things?
I'd say he's
Possibly, yeah.
softening the killing blows, you know,
Hmm.
until he's ready for like worse. Because after all, he does want to spike him. So
He does. He's been trying. So Ellen drops the Kula sword and then wanders through the villagers and the burning buildings, thinking that he hadn't saved the village even if he had taken over the group of Kulas. One of the villagers asks if he's the Lord Ruler, and Ellen just says that's close enough to the truth. He turns towards the direction of his human army far off to the east and thinks that the time of killing hasn't ended, but it's just begun. So what do you think about the villagers thinking Ellen was the Lord Ruler because he was like in black and like everything?
repeat the question.
What did you think about the villagers thinking that Ellen was the Lord Ruler because he's
Oh,
dressed
yeah.
in black?
Well, like I literally just kind of explained it. So
Yeah, you kind of went into it.
Yeah, I mean, I found it funny that he didn't correct them.
yeah, it's like
He's just
good
tired.
enough. You know?
He's
Like,
tired. He's
okay.
like, eh, whatever.
He just at this point he's just claiming he is the Lord Ruler now. I have taken the power.
Nah, I wouldn't mind having Ellen as Lord Ruler. You know.
I mean,
Oh
he
yeah.
is the Emperor.
Yeah. And so what's better, the Lord Ruler, the Emperor?
I mean, the Lord Ruler was an emperor. It's literally called the Final Empire.
No, he was the Lord Ruler, not an emperor.
I mean, that was his.
No, he was the Lord Ruler. He was a god, not an emperor.
He was a sliver of infinity.
Mm-hmm.
So we then move on to chapter 52. The epigraph is, near the end, the ash began to pile up in frightening amounts. I've spoken of the special microbes that the Lord Ruler devised to help the world deal with the ash falls. They did not feed on ash, really. Rather, they broke it down as an aspect of their metabolic functions. Volcanic ash itself is, actually, good for soil, depending on what one wishes to grow. Too much of anything, however, is deadly. Water is necessary for survival, yet too much will drown. During the history of the Final Empire, the land balanced on the very knife edge of disaster via the ash. The microbes broke it down about as rapidly as it fell, but when there was so much of it that it oversaturated the soil, it became more difficult for plants to survive. In the end, the entire system fell apart. Ash fell so steadily that it smothered and killed, and the world's plant life died off. The microbes had no chance of keeping up, for they needed time and nutrients to reproduce. Did you have any thoughts about this little microbe explanation?
I mean, it was a micro explanation, so
Kind of just some
makes sense.
more world building stuff.
Yeah.
So,
pretty much.
so we move to Tensoon's point of view as he moves through
Tensoon!
as he moves through Lucidel in his wolfhound body. He was surprised to see the city so crowded and the streets filled with ash and filth. Some of the Ska looked at him hungrily as he passed, and he even had to run from a couple of gangs. He heads towards Keep Venture and worries that someone else might have taken the city during the siege, even though Ellen's banner still flies. He thinks that he should have stayed instead of going back to the homeland. What do you think would have happened if Tensoon had stayed with Finn?
Oh well.
A lot. I'm sure it would have changed, in all honesty.
You think they would have been in a better position if Tensoon had stayed?
Yeah, I don't think she would have got caught.
She would also know. They would also know in general a lot more than
Yeah.
they.
I feel like she would, even if she did get caught, I feel like he would have been able to then tell, Ellen and them.
They also have a master infiltrator, like
Fucking spy out here.
they wouldn't even want to send Vin.
But they just sent him?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they need to get into the storage cache, they still have to send him Mistborn because he can't use.
No, but they could
Allomancy
still
to
send
get
him
into the
into,
storage cache.
they could have changed their plan, and a lot could have changed. So
Tensoon eventually moves to the keep and listens to some guards who complain about night duty. They also mention that Penrod is still king and that there is an emperor, causing Tensoon to worry that Straff may be the emperor. After a bit, Tensoon grows frustrated and heads off to a place that Orisur had described to him, the warehouse where Kelsier had left weapons for the crew to find and give to the Ska. He then goes around the building and digs up Kelsier's bones, which have been hidden beneath some cobblestones. He then switches to the point of view of one of the guards at Keep Venture named Wellen. He is leaning against his spear as he talks to the other guard, Riddle. Wonders to Riddle if the other guards will be late again, but then notices something in the mist. Riddle tells the man to halt, but as he comes closer, Riddle falls to his knees and clutches at a pendant of a spear around his neck. Wellen is in shock as he stares at the survivor of Hassan. The survivor tells Riddle to rise and then says he doesn't approve of how the city is being run. Riddle explains that there isn't enough food and the mists have been killing people. So what do you think about Tensoon deciding to dress up as Kelsier to come confront the guards and get information?
I mean, that was pretty smart, so it worked out pretty well too.
He's
I
like,
was laughing at Asa,
he's like,
especially during his like POVs.
I really just need to get some information here.
Yeah.
So Tensoon as Kelsier says that he did not command the mist to kill the people. He also asks about Penrod and the Emperor, who he learns is Elend. Welland tells Tensoon that Penrod is mad and has been talking to the air. Apparently Penrod has also been making the Ska fight each other for food, and has been killing people as well. Tensoon then asks
Talking to the air.
Yup. Tensoon then asks about Vin, and Welland says that she is with the Emperor, but they don't know exactly where they are at the moment. Welland remembers that Breeze has stopped by the city for supplies and mentions that they were going north to Urto. Before Tensoon leaves, he tells Welland that when the mists leave, the people should find shelter underground. Welland asks if they should go to the caverns where Kelsier trained his men, and Tensoon replies that's a good enough place. So what do you think Tensoon means about the mists leaving, and that people need to go underground when that happens?
The mist leaving?
Yeah, he says when the mists leave, you need to take the people underground to find shelter.
It's the sun, right?
Mm,
Or it could be like just the fucking ash mounts doing their thing.
when the mist leaves.
Why do you think the mists are going to leave?
Well, I mean, it's gotta happen eventually, right?
Will it? They've been coming more and
Gotta
more.
gotta happen eventually, right? One of the two sides is gonna win. Did you think of something, Darkness, or was that just a sigh?
I'm trying to like fix a theory, and it's so fucking like annoying.
What theory are we trying to fix?
I was hoping that it was because of preservation dying.
You think because preservation's dead, the mists are going to disappear?
Yeah, because preservation was like, oh no, maybe I did that, you know?
Was he?
Did you think? How do you think Tensoon knows that preservation's going to die then? 'Cause preservation's not dead at this point.
No, but like they've like battled before, according to Conjure or whatever, right?
Before
So
Ruin
if-
was trapped, they had like another
Yeah.
fight.
So if preservation, was like used up their power to trap Ruin, then maybe the mist stopped for like a bit.
Do you think maybe Tensoon's hoping that preservation's going to trap Ruin again?
Maybe.
But if that's what he's thinking, then why is he telling them to then leave? Though there wouldn't be any danger left.
Honestly, I don't know. That's why I was like, I'm trying to fix this theory.
Mm-hmm.
Should I move on, or you guys want to talk about that a little bit more?
Honestly, no clue.
So we switch back to Tensoon's point of view as he hurries back to where he had left his wolfhound bones. However, as he gets there, a voice shouts out to him. The man says they've been waiting for him, the survivor, to return, and that the king is mad. Tensoon tells him that Ruin has taken over Penrod, and that they should go to the guards at Keep Venture and follow them to a place underground. Other people come out to catch glances of him, but Tensoon quickly hurries off to find a place to change back into his wolfhound body. Tensoon glances at Kelsier's now discarded bones and decides to pack them up in a sack and carry them with him on his back.
Could be useful.
He then leaves the city, heading north to Urto and hoping that he was going to the right place. So what do you think will happen when Tensoon gets to Urto?
Urto again? I feel like I've heard that name before.
Urto is where Breeze, Sazed, and Spook are.
Oh, okay.
That's his only lead on where Vin might be, but that is not where she is. But he doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how would he know that, honestly? Man, that man's not been here for like ever now. So, what do I think's gonna happen? He's gonna meet up with the other, group of people and attempt to help them in some way, shape, or form.
I think he's gonna talk to them because he's never actually spoken to them before, as far as we know. Or Vin never told them about him being her wolfhound.
Yeah, true. Interesting thought, though.
Ellen was the only one who knew about it. I
And
mean,
he's
she
not
might have
even
told
gonna be
them,
there.
although she might have told them like after he left. Were you saying, Darkness?
He's not
I
even gonna
said,
be
and
there.
Ellen's not gonna be there to tell them. So.
Yeah. So unless she told them after Tensoon was gone, but then he still doesn't really know if they know about him or not.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe he'll go there as Kelsier.
I mean, he might, yeah.
Yeah.
Just show up like,
They
hey
know
guys,
Kelsier.
long time no see.
Yeah, they know Kelsier, so.
Bald Kelsey.
Imagine Spook is there with another
He's like,
Kelsier,
"That's not
and then
Kelsier."
Kelsier's there too.
Yeah, that's not Kelsier. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Guys, don't believe it. It's not Kelsier. I know, because that Kelsier's talking to me.
Then Tensoon's like, what the fuck you mean Kelsier's talking to you?
Yeah, like, what? Because he's dead. What the fuck?
It's like, dude, I literally have his body. The fuck you talking about? He's talking to you.
Everything but his hair,
Yeah. Just give him some eye tattoos and he's obligator Kelsier.
No, don't do that.
He'll go after his brother's footsteps.
No.
Obligator and then Inquisitor.
Oh my god, I want. This gonna sound very sadistic,
Oh god.
Oh,
but I
I mean,
want him to
you don't
use his
already sound like
bones to go meet up with Marish, and then I want to see
Oh,
Marish's
God.
reaction.
Oh my god. Marsh has like a breakdown.
You're dead. But you're dead. What?
I think it would be more
you
satisfying
do
knowing
this?
that he can't really do anything physically.
That's what gives Marsh the power to finally take out his back spike.
He's like, hell no.
I've gone too crazy. This needs to end.
Shall end it now.
So then we move on to chapter 53. The epigraph is, "The pact between preservation and ruin is a thing of gods, and difficult to explain in human terms. Indeed, initially there was a stalemate between them. On one hand, each knew that only by working together could they create. On the other hand, both knew that they would never have complete satisfaction in what they created. Preservation would not be able to keep things perfect and unchanging, and ruin would not be able to destroy completely. Ruin, of course, eventually acquired the ability to end the world and gain the satisfaction he wanted, but then that wasn't originally part of the bargain." So what did you think of ruin and
What, it
preservation?
wasn't?
Apparently not.
No, that's not how Ruin sees it.
Yeah, so what do you think of their little pact, the pact between preservation and ruin?
Foolish pact that a god would make, in all honesty.
Honestly, everyone knows that treaties don't work.
Exactly.
They should have murdered them. No.
They should have murdered each other.
I mean, preservation did his best. He caged him.
Ruin did too.
Yeah, exactly.
And he succeeded.
And look, and look who wins. Person who is actually of death, you know.
I mean, if Finn hadn't released preservation might have kept going at the cage.
You mean Ruin?
No, preservation would have kept the cage up.
Oh yeah. If
Finn hadn't fucked it all up. So we move to Spook's point of view as he approaches Beldre, who is sitting near the underground lake. He's holding a cup of tea for her, which is almost burning his hands due to his tin, although he thinks that that's probably just the perfect temperature for a normal person. He clears his throat to let her know when he was approaching. He hands her the tea, and she thanks him after a moment. Spook thinks that he lets her roam free in the cavern, although Goredel's men do keep an eye on her. There were also about 24 men guarding the trapdoor leading up to the ministry building, and they constantly put the ladder away so that it's not, like, easy to just get out. Beldre mentions that her brother would have loved to find this cavern as he worries a lot about food. Spook mentions how the mists are keeping crops from growing well, and he apologizes for keeping her here, but she replies that she knows her showing up was too good of an opportunity to pass up. Beldre then eventually says that
she's a liar, and I still think she's a liar, and she's manipulating him.
Yeah, I don't trust her at all.
Yeah, especially after all this other shit that comes up. I'm like,
I think that's one of my questions
Can
later.
I just write a letter to my brother?
So Beldre then eventually says that she had believed in the Lord Ruler and that she had been a perfect noblewoman until the Obligators tried to kill her after figuring out she was half Ska. Apparently her father had slept with one of the servants, and her mother had known and agreed to it because her mother couldn't have children. So what do you think of Beldre's past?
Cool.
What do you say, Mythic?
I said that's actually kind of cool for her. She was like, oh, well, I can't have kids, so, I'm not going to stop you from having kids.
I mean, it's cool as long as the servant wasn't raped.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're noble people. They could literally have just bought these people and been like, hey, I just want to have sex. I'll buy the baby off of you. Just let's have sex and I'll buy the baby off you. Mm-hmm. You'll be set for life.
Even though their lifespan is not that long.
No, but hey, to them, time is relative.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Time is relative. Like if you only live 60 years, and everybody else is only living 60 years, you would think that that's your time, and so why wouldn't you want to live cushiony for the rest of that time?
Fair.
So Beldre also says that she had been saved from execution because the Lord Ruler had been defeated, she had been forgotten about in the confusion and chaos. Her brother had then taken over, and he had good plans at first. Spook apologizes and says he wishes things could be simple. Beldre also says that Spook is similar to Kellyon, but Spook replies that he isn't like what the rumors say about him. He explains how he ended up in the crew only because of his uncle, and that he wasn't very valuable. Spook also explains that he isn't in charge. Sazed is, but Sazed doesn't want to run things, so he leaves it to Spook. Beldre then notes that the storage cavern is why they came to Urto, and Spook agrees, although he says the rebellion is also part of it. Beldre then asks about Ellen and Finn, and Spook says that Ellen is a forgetful scholar and that Finn really is special, but she seems as frail as a child sometimes. He also mentions how he tried to court Finn once, but she hadn't really known what it meant at first, and then she had
Why
turned
would
him
you
down.
say that? Why? God, you are cringy. Yeah,
uh,
I tried courting this other girl once, but bro,
That was
cringe,
sweet.
so,
cringe,
what did you think about Spook opening up to Beldre? Do you think it's good, or do you think she's
cringe.
gonna like turn against him and like use information against him?
Yes, 100%, 100% gonna use information against him because she's fucking conniving little bitch. Obviously on
Anyway,
his side, on her brother's side.
I thought it was nice, like they're getting to know each other. They're gonna get married, have like 12 children.
Oh God, 12? Holy shit, a lot of children.
They gotta have 16, a misting of each.
Oh
Oh, you're
God.
right. No, 17, because they gotta be ahead. They gotta
Yeah,
have Mistborn
and
too.
then and then and then he's got to spike, and then he's got to spike them all so that he can become a Mistborn.
Oh, guys, could just have a bunch of misting children so that he could just take all their powers.
He
Yep.
spikes them all in one go.
Yep.
Oh no!
That's
Imagine
the
little
plan.
baby
That's the plan.
children running around with spikes in their eyes.
Oh,
Oh God, I
gosh.
know. Right? Imagine what are they? Why can I never remember the names of these things? The Steel Inquisitors. Imagine a bunch of children Steel Inquisitors.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like that'd be the
Wait, but
craziest.
if they come out and not mistings, he could just make co-ops.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
100%. We're thinking of all these plans for him, huh?
Spook
We
is gonna
got
be the
this,
true
right?
next Lord Ruler.
I mean, isn't he already?
So Beldre then asks if Spook is going to threaten her life to her brother, but Spook says threats like that are hollow if the person knows you won't go through with it. Beldre also asks Spook to not kill her brother, and Spook reluctantly agrees to try not to kill her brother if he can. Beldre nods, trusting him, and then asks that once this is over, maybe he can introduce her to the Emperor and Empress. Spook agrees that they are interesting people, and that he wishes he were powerful like them. Beldre, however, replies that power can be a terrible thing, and to not wish so hard for it. Spook then gets up to leave and tells Beldre to go to Sazed if she needs anything. What do you think about Spook promising to try not to kill Kellyon? Do you think it's a good idea or
It's
no?
not gonna work. It's not gonna work out. He's gonna either accidentally kill him, or he's gonna be kind of forced to kill him.
That's why Beldre turns on him. She's actually an Inquisitor in
Nah,
disguise.
Belgia's gonna be the trigger of that.
I mean, she's already turning on him. She just doesn't know it yet.
What if what if she actually is the trigger of that? What if he's like, I'm not gonna kill him, but she betrays him and then kills him?
He's like, fuck you then, I'm gonna kill him after all.
Or
Yeah.
another really great theory for you. What if she tries to step in between the two of them, gets killed through their battle, and then he sees that and says, "Oh, it's your fault. I kill you." And then he really snaps because he's already pretty unhinged right now.
And he steals Kellyon's coin shot ability.
Ooh. Now that you say that, though, I don't believe it because you said it.
Just
I feel
throwing
like you're
things
trying to
out
throw
there.
I don't
us
believe you anymore. You're very supportive.
off. You're trying to throw us off, man.
So we then skip to Spook meeting up with Dern to negotiate. Dern, in return for his help, wants primary trade contracts on all the canals and a title from the Emperor. Spook jokes about Dern getting a title, but says that he already got agreement from Sazed and Breeze for this, and they'll write up a contract for him, which Dern really wants because he's like, contracts are a thing of lords. I need a contract. So Spook then replies that he needs the Harrows dammed off as they're going to be flooding the canals once the markets are empty. Dern replies that there used to be a lock system at the mouth of the Harrows that they can put back into place to keep the one canal from flooding like the others. It's also mentioned that Dern is working on Spook's reputation with the people as well. So what did you think about Dern and Spook's deal there?
I don't think I had any thoughts about it.
Yeah, right.
Do you think they're going to be able to keep the Harrows from flooding, or do you think they're going to end up killing all those people when the canals flood?
That would be funny. Wait.
That would be funny. Is that what you said?
No.
It is.
I'm a good person. What do you mean?
Oh, I like how she just threw you under the bus. Damn.
I mean, it's all recorded here.
No. It
Still
could have
threw
been
you under the bus. Like, damn.
It could have been me misspeaking,
Uh-huh.
That's totally what that was. Gotcha.
Yeah. I never mean to say my thoughts out loud.
Yeah, exactly. They just kind of come out. I gotcha.
Dern and Spook then go into the main area of this tavern that they'd been meeting at, and Spook says that the people there don't need to pay for anything they are drinking tonight. He knows he isn't as good a talker like Kelsier, so he just goes around to the different tables and listens to people while asking questions. Spook and Dern then go to multiple other taverns to do the same so that Spook is seen by the people and speaks to them about the Allomancers that Kellyon hires. Though he doesn't speak of Kellyon being an Allomancer, as it's better for Breeze to slowly work that into people's minds instead. We skip to another tavern as Dern cheers to Spook into the downfall of the citizen. Spook is lost in thought, and Dern asks if he's alright, but Spook brushes it off. He thinks that maybe he can be like Kelsier, loved by the people. Spook wants to leave the old Spook behind, and Kelsier whispers in his ear that people love him and that he deserves it.
Poor Spook. I just want to be loved.
So what do you think about Spook going around to all these taverns like Kelsier used to go around to all the ska back in Luthadel?
Kind of cringe.
He's trying to become a new Kelsier. I will be the new Kelsier.
So we move on to chapter 54. The epigraph is, Preservation's desire to create sentient life was what eventually broke the stalemate. In order to give mankind awareness and independent thought, Preservation knew that he would have to give up part of himself, his own soul, to dwell within mankind. This would leave him just a tiny bit weaker than his opposite Ruin. That tiny bit seemed inconsequential compared with their total vast sums of power. However, over eons, this tiny flaw would allow Ruin to overcome Preservation, thereby bringing an end to the world. This, then, was their bargain. Preservation got mankind the only creations that had more preservation than Ruin in them, rather than a balance. Independent life that could think and feel. In exchange, Ruin was given a promise, and proof, that he could bring an end to all they had created together. It was the pact, and Preservation eventually broke it.
Bad guy.
So what do you think about Preservation giving up part of himself for humanity and thus becoming weaker than Ruin?
I mean, give and take.
Makes me wonder why. Like,
what?
Bro, I still don't understand. Like, were they just lying about being like?
Oh, the Conjure thing?
Yeah.
Where the Conjure's like, humans are of Ruin. And it's like, well, it actually seems like they're partially a bit more of Preservation than Ruin.
Yeah.
I don't know. We still don't know everything about the Conjure religion and prophecies.
Should probably get that soon, hopefully. Because, we were told we would get everything we wanted to know.
Mm-hmm.
You will get more about the prophecy, yes.
About the Conjure people in general.
Yeah, about the Conjure as well. So we move to Vin's point of view as she wakes up bound with no metal reserves. She briefly remembers being in the cave with Ruin and that Ellen's friend had arrived with the drugged wine and that she had gambled that she'd be able to burn away the drugs with her pewter. A voice then mentions that Vin's breathing has changed, so she is obviously awake now. Vin opens her eyes.
Her breathing changed.
When Vin opens her eyes, she sees that she is in a sparsely furnished room on a bench with a hard pillow. The manacles binding her wrists were attached to a large chain that was then attached to the bench. Two guards next to the bench jump a bit and eye Vin warily as she tugs a bit on the chain. Yeoman then asks what he should do with Vin, as a single flake of metal could have her killing his guards and breaking out. Vin tries to speak but ends up coughing instead. Yeoman makes a gesture and a servant brings Vin a wooden cup of water. Yeoman mentions that the water was rainwater that he had specifically strained so there would be no traces of metal in it. Vin asks why he doesn't just keep her gagged if he doesn't want her consuming metal, and he replies that he has various reasons. He also mentions that her metal manacles and chain are made of silver, which is not an allomantic metal. So what do you think of Yeoman's way of keeping Vin from allomantic metals through the water and silver chains?
Smart as shit. This man is intelligent, which is a shock because nobody else in this series seems to be.
Maybe he's not working alone.
Yeah, he's working with Ruin. Well, I mean, I don't know. The Ruin wants her to kill him and shit, so I don't know.
Loki, I doubt Ruin's the only one that wants her dead.
I feel like, yeah. I mean, Preservation apparently wants her dead too, so. You ruined my plans!
She's using hemalurgy, so.
Yep, totally.
So Yeoman then has a servant bring out Vin's earring on a platter and asks why she would have an earring that is plated in silver and then inside is bronze, one of the weakest metals. Vin snatches the earring and places it back in her ear. Yeoman watches her warily, but Vin doesn't attack or do anything else. Yeoman just mentions that this is interesting. Why do you think Yeoman gave Vin back her earring when she potentially could have used it to attack him?
I mean, why do bad guys do anything, in all honesty?
And maybe he just wanted to see what she would do with it.
Yeah.
So he then brings in one of Ellen's guards and states that she is alive as mentioned. The guard asks how he can know she isn't a Kandra, and Yeoman allows Vin to answer a question about what she had for dinner the night before the party. The guard then leaves, and Vin tells Yeoman that he can't use her against Ellen forever. Yeoman replies that he doesn't have her here to use her against her husband, but to execute her for her crime of murder. Vin realizes he meets the Lord Ruler and says that this is ridiculous. Yeoman also says that he doesn't intend to put her on trial, as he is the law here, but he will allow her to say something before he executes her.
I am the law!
He also mentions that the guards are advised to kill her if she even looks like she will put something unapproved in her mouth. Ruin then what?
Nothing.
Ruin then speaks into her mind.
I like how me and Darkness probably thought the same thing. They're just like...
So Ruin speaks into her mind in Reen's voice, saying that she could take one of the guard's weapons and kill Yeoman. However, Vin ignores the voice. She thinks that Yeoman is up to something more than he is saying, and also wonders why Ruin would want her to kill Yeoman. After a moment of silence, Yeoman tells the guards to take Vin away. What do you think of Yeoman keeping Vin alive around just to execute her later?
I don't think that's his actual plan.
Yeah.
He's got something else up his sleeve.
Maybe he wants a wife.
Oh
Oh
god.
god. That'd be even cringier than what fucking Spook is doing.
Spooks takes notes.
Jesus. Spook, take notes.
Yeah, so what do you think Yeoman's plan is then? Because Vin also seems to think that his only plan isn't just to execute her. She's like, no, something else is going on here.
Maybe he's trying to get to Ellen.
He just said he wasn't trying to get to Ellen.
Or maybe yeah.
Okay, but I could say I'm not gonna rob a bank,
Yeah,
and I'm
true.
already robbing
He
it.
could be lying.
But
I'm not
I
robbing
mean,
a bank, by the way.
yeah, we already know you're not robbing a bank. You're too soft for that. Trying to think, what could his plan be though? Think like a villain.
Is he truly a villain though?
Is he not? Why?
Midnight, why would he say that?
Yeah,
Why
can
would
you
you say
explain
that?
to me why you think he's not?
I mean,
Hmm?
if he doesn't truly believe the whole Ruin thing,
Th-
he's just like, hey, these people are coming to attack this city that I believe that I should have control of.
But why does he think he has control of this? Though, you know?
Well, because he said he believes he has a right to it because he
He's
was
been-
one of the Lord Rulers.
He's been murdering people, has he
Priest.
not?
I don't know if he has been murdering people.
He's too into the Lord Ruler to have not been murdering people right now. Alright. Lord Ruler was a murderer, he's probably a murderer too.
Me too.
Are you a murderer, Darkness? Is that what you're telling us?
Darkness is too soft to be a
No.
murderer.
I agree.
I meant like Lord Ruler. I'm a Lord Ruler too.
Yeah. So, Mr. Lord Ruler, what do you think his plan is?
Off with their heads.
Pretty
Some
good
murder.
plan.
No, I'm joking.
Man, pretty good plan, honestly.
So, chapter 55's epigraph is, by sacrificing most of his consciousness, Preservation created Ruin's prison, breaking their deal and trying to keep Ruin from destroying what they had created. This event left their powers again nearly balanced. Ruin imprisoned, only a trace of himself capable of leaking out. Preservation reduced to a mere wisp of what he once was, barely capable of thought and action. These two minds were, of course, independent of the raw force of their powers. Actually, I am uncertain of how thoughts and personalities came to be attached to the powers in the first place, but I believe they were not there originally. For both powers could be detached from the minds that ruled them. So first of all, what did you think about Preservation breaking the pact and becoming almost incapable of thought because of it?
Everything has a consequence.
So this is where I started feeling less like, how do I say it? This is where I started feeling more bad for Ruin rather than Preservation.
Oh, God.
Cause
That's
fuck
what he wants,
Preservation.
Darkness. That's what he wants.
No, but like fuck Preservation for doing that shit.
He's like, no, I want to preserve my creations. That's his whole like fucking thing.
Yeah, but you know, after telling your whatever, you know, I'm gonna say brother, but
I would say significant other. No, I'm joking.
I mean,
You ship Ruin and Preservation.
honestly,
I'm shipping
God,
them right now.
that would be awesome. But Midnight also said that there was none of that yet until later book, so it's unfortunate.
I mean, you never know. Just might not be written into the book.
Honestly, you think gods wouldn't? You know what?
I mean, I feel like gods wouldn't have a gender, so
I mean, they have a body apparently.
yeah, but they wouldn't have a gender though.
Pretty sure it has a male body.
That doesn't mean
No.
their gender is male.
Exactly.
That's true.
God damn, get with the times.
For
Sigh,
real.
sigh,
Like
sigh.
I know you're like a
Jesus.
600-year-old lady, but calm down.
Man,
Try my
600
best.
years, 600 years, and she still can't get any taller.
Wow.
That's different. That's different.
So my other question here is, what do you think about the fact that the powers can be separated from the minds that rule them, and that the minds apparently and personalities weren't originally part of the powers? What do you think all
So
that means?
here's where we go into like ascension type of shit.
Yeah, and Say's being a god of both.
Look, I don't even believe that. That's just gonna be it though.
You don't even believe that? Oh.
I don't believe it's just gonna be him.
Oh, you think there's gonna be other people that are gods?
Yeah.
Or who else you think? Our boy.
I think I'm hoping that Ellen and Vin take up the role.
God, I hope not.
You think they're going to become Ruin and Preservation?
Yeah, I generally don't. I believe that the mind who had Preservation's power is dead.
Yeah, which we will.
I
Get
don't believe the
into.
power itself is gone though.
Do you believe because of that epigraph where it says that they can be separated, you think that the power's still around even if preservation's like?
No, in general, I
He does.
figured even before that, like,
Mm.
oh well, did we
We
see
didn't-
when he died already?
We're about to do the chapter where he dies.
Oh well, I wasn't even thinking of that when that fucking epigraph said that. But
Mhm.
with what I know of how like gods are constricted into books and stuff, like I don't think their powers just fade away with them. So
Yeah, because matter can't be destroyed; can only be remolded.
that and it's an essential part.
Darkness, do you think? I know this isn't midnight asking you a question, but do you think that if preservation really wasn't around, that they could ever stop ruin? Like there was ever a possibility?
Yeah,
Just gonna cross that question off my overview questions. Just going into my questions here, Mythic. Jeez.
Well, I told you. You gotta get better questions. Jeez.
That's
If I can guess your questions, damn.
that's kind of sad.
I know,
Wow.
right? God damn. I mean, I know you didn't put a lot of time into it, but
I did. Definitely put more than 15 minutes into my questions today.
yeah, I'm sure.
I just hear his scribble like.
Yep.
I mean, Mythic heard
That's
me
all.
typing earlier.
Just- Yeah, I did. I heard. Also, when I was reading the book, she was like, "I'm just starting on my questions," and I'm like, "Oh." And then I finished the book, and she still hadn't, or not the
No,
book,
I was
but
doing the
chapter.
notes. You were reading the same chapter that I was writing the notes on. I didn't start the
You
questions
finished the
until
book?
later.
Yeah, I finished the book. Chris.
No, he didn't finish the book.
I finished the book totally.
Anyways, do you
That's
guys
how
have
I
any
know
more
all
thoughts?
these things that you don't know, Darkness.
Did you guys have any more thoughts about the powers and minds being separate?
I thought it was cool because I figured that that's how like people will ascend by just taking the power themselves.
So do you think I mean, obviously preservation has a body that we've seen. Do you think that
And has a body, yes.
that mind or body has always been with preservation, or do you think there's been multiple
Oh,
entities in control of preservation or ruin over time?
I feel like preservation. Well, preservation was a thing before that person got it.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
know
the
so.
epigraph
I
does
don't
say
think
that the epigraph does say that the powers didn't have something attached to them in the first place, but like, do you think that was the first ever person
No.
like associated, or do
No.
you think there's been multiple?
Yeah, I don't think this is the same one that attacked the whatever the fuck person in Reshek's time. I can't think of the other dude.
Oh, Elendi?
Elendi? That's it. Yeah.
Oh, so you think there's someone that's been changed that soon? Okay.
Oh, that's recent. That's like too recent, Loki.
Wait, what? What do you mean that's too recent? Elendi
Like,
was 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That's too recent in God level's time.
Oh well, I don't know. I feel like the body dies out.
I don't know. To me, that would be like 1,000 years, not that much. Literally, the Lord Ruler for 1,000 lived for 1,000 years. So.
Yes, but the Lord Ruler might have been different though.
Different how?
A god
Oh,
himself, just like Kelsier.
actually,
and-
Kelsey's a
and
conjurer. It's
soon-
been confirmed.
And soon, no, yeah, totally.
Kelsier was always a Kandra.
Always has been.
What happens if a
That's
conjurer eats a
suspicious.
conjurer's bones?
Ooh,
I
that's a
mean,
question I want answered.
I think the bones are just. I mean, the bones aren't technically associated with.
What about the
Conjure.
muscles and everything? Do they get like twice?
What
as
would
big?
happen? What would happen if a conjurer ate a conjurer?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That needs to be answered. I want that.
I was gonna say incest, but it's actually
That would
I
be
mean, it kind of
incest.
is.
it's cannibalism.
Kinda is. They are
That's
family.
cannibalism, not really.
He does. Well, no, he does state that they're family. So
Oh
Great.
no!
Because you eat cannibalizing a family member is not
yes,
incest.
no. I'm okay. I didn't mean what Darkness was talking about. Okay, I was thinking of something different because
Okay.
because I've been shipping the fucking
Gods?
Tensoon and this other Tensoon and the whatever the fucking other
Elon?
conjure was that. Yeah, that's it. So I was thinking to myself, that would be incest because they're technically would probably be brothers and sister. in the
But
way
I
that
thought,
he's talking
well,
about
maybe it's because of
Orford, so-
generations.
Oh,
So-
maybe, maybe
Yeah, but-
because it was a
Didn't
generational
Tensoon
brother.
say he
Yeah.
raised Meilon? The third's raised the seventh generation, so he's basically like her dad.
That's okay. That's like a stepdad situation.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess he's not really the dad
I've seen
dad,
plenty of
because the
videos
dad
about that.
dad is the Lord Ruler.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of videos like that. So once again, we're back to the incest thing.
Anyways, we're gonna move on to Ellen's point of view. As he makes his way back from the village. He was taking longer to travel this time since he had left a bunch of his coins with the people of the village, even though he wasn't sure what good the money would do for them. He also was taking longer because he didn't want to get too far ahead of his new Kolos army in case an Inquisitor came for them. The third and final reason he was taking longer was he needed time to think. He worries at this time Vin may not be able to get herself out of this predicament. As Ellen walks, he wonders if he had stayed in Luthadel if he could have worked with his scholars to figure out a way to combat the Ash. However, he then thinks that's stupid, as he doesn't even
definitely
know
stopped Ruin.
as he doesn't know what they could have even done to stop the Ash. Like, you can't even just plug up an Ash mount or something, he thinks. He also thinks that he's been relying on Vin to worry about these sorts of problems, and it's not just scary to lose the woman he loves, but also to lose the person he was relying on so much for. They need help, and Ellen isn't sure who to look to for help. He stares upward at the Ash and thinks that they are doomed. He slumps down to his knees and gives up. Were you surprised that Ellen just suddenly gave up?
He didn't give up.
Yes, he did.
It literally says, I think, that he gave up.
Yeah, it literally said.
No, he didn't give up.
If the Mist Spirit didn't show up, he was giving up.
No, he's very very good at acting.
Oh, okay.
I see. He was tricking the Mist Spirit into coming to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
It's like when you're aware of your plot armor, you know?
Oh, God.
It's actually his plan just to, like, defeat
Got
Ruin. He's like, if Ruin thinks I gave up, then I can do something.
Yeah, because Ruin can see everything, you know?
Yeah, and rewrites everything, you know?
So then...
That I found really cool, honestly.
So then someone kneels down beside him. Ellen scrambles away before realizing it wasn't a person, but the Mist Spirit who had appeared. He thinks that although the creature had stabbed him, it had good intentions, as it had just wanted Vin to use the power at the well to save him so that she wouldn't release Ruin.
You stabbed me, but you know...
Ellen asks the Mist Spirit what it wants, and it just points northeast like it had when he first met it. He asks the Mist Spirit to speak or at least write down what it wants from him. And he hadn't expected it, but the creature does kneel down and tries to write in the ash. But however, when Ellen looks over his shoulder, he sees the words, "I will kill you, death, death, death." And he's just like, that's pleasant.
You know, Ruin's not very smart when writing that. Like, because, like, that's pretty obvious.
Right? I would have written, "I'm hungry."
Yeah, something stupid, like, nonsensical. Like, hell, even better, write in Eastern street slang.
Oh,
that would have been hilarious. So the Mist Spirit slumps, and Ellen realizes that Ruin is changing what the Mist Spirit is writing. He tries to get the Mist Spirit to write in more exaggerated movements so that he can make out the letters by hand movements.
Which doesn't work.
But it doesn't work. He's like, either you don't know your letters, or Ruin is somehow changing your hand movements as well. Ellen then realizes that if the Mist Spirit's written words are changing, it means Ruin is with them now. So what did you think of the Mist Spirit's attempts to communicate here, to start with?
I mean, Preservation's trying.
He's trying his best.
Yeah.
Maybe if he didn't fucking break the contract, it would have gone better.
I mean, they would all just be dead, so...
No, they wouldn't.
Okay.
They would be ruined.
Oh, touche.
My other question is, why do you think the Mist Spirit is pointing north again? Why do you think he keeps every time?
I thought he pointed southeast.
No, it was north.
No, it's north.
There's something
northeast.
I thought it was southeast.
No, it's northeast.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, because she knows everything, Darkness. Like, you can't argue with her. She's a female. You can't argue with her.
Yeah, no, he's pointing northeast, and technically he's like a lot more west than he was originally. So technically he's kind of pointing in the same direction he was when they had left Luthadel in the second book.
There's something to the north.
Is there any other thoughts about that?
But it says the Mist. What? But it says the Mist Spirit raised its arm and pointed to the southeast.
It definitely says northeast. Do you have a typo in your book?
No, fight me. Fight me right now, bro. It literally says southeast.
Yeah, in my book it says pointing to the northeast.
That's
what?
Crazy.
I can send it. Well, I can't. Yeah,
Pixar didn't happen.
Well, I have to stop my face tracking. Take a picture. 1 second.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll zoom in on it. 1 second.
Maybe mine is updated.
I'm pretty sure he should be.
No, it's written differently too.
Is it?
Yeah, it says that's all it did the first time it met me. It only pointed for me.
Mist Spirit raised its arm and pointed to the southeast. And for mine it says, Mist Spirit raised its arms and pointed to the northeast. This is what it did the first time it met me. It just pointed as trying to get me to go somewhere.
Yours says it just pointed. Mine says it only pointed.
Weird. It's like slightly different.
This makes me like on edge because I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, the cover says he points to the northeast, so yours is wrong, Darkness.
How is it wrong?
It's wrong. Yours is wrong.
Somebody wrote it wrong.
What?
He's supposed to point
Retyping
to
it
the
into the fucking
northeast.
thing. You're on the Kindle like thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody typed it wrong.
But they also put a different word there, like a
They
It might have
typed
been
it
an
wrong,
old-
as in they were typing it into the book, and they were like, "Oh, this is," they were typing it in.
I don't know. Yours is wrong, Darkness.
Or Coppermind is wrong.
Coppermind is not wrong.
Maybe it's outdated.
Yeah, I think yours is just outdated. I think he must have maybe he changed it at some point.
No, what yours is outdated. I said what if yours is
No,
outdated?
I'm pretty sure yours is outdated.
No.
Definitely yours, Darkness.
I'm pretty sure it's yours, Darkness.
No.
It's definitely yours. You want to know why I know? Because I've
Why?
already read the whole book.
Anyways, let's continue.
Oh I accidentally scrolled down to the reviews. Let me not.
So
I
he
mean,
asked,
it might tell you why it's wrong.
he then asked the Mist Spirit to bounce around for yes, and the Mist Spirit waves its arms to signal that yes, Ruin is with them. Ellen notes that the Mist Spirit seems less solid than it was before.
Crazy. Oh man, he even realized. He realized that the Mist Spirit is dying, but not really. Even didn't actually realize it.
Yeah.
You
He
know?
noticed the
Like,
Mist
he
Spirit seems
pointed
less
it out.
solid than it was before, and the Mist Spirit does nothing. He realizes that he needs to ask simpler yes or no questions, so he asks if the Mist Spirit is weaker than before, and it waves its arms. It agrees that it is weaker because the world is ending, and that it is weaker than Ruin, a lot weaker. Ellen then asks if it is related to the ash, but it is not. However, it half waves about being the cause of the mist coming during the day. He asks if he should go back to Luthadel, and it waves a little. Ellen then asks if he should attack Fadrex. It does nothing. He asks if he should not attack Fadrex, and the Mist Spirit waves vigorously. The Mist Spirit agrees that the mists are connected to this, but when asked about the mist killing his men, the Mist Spirit just steps forward urgently and then waves when asked if the mists are not killing his men. So he's just like, no, the mists are not killing them. The Mist Spirit then points at Ellen's sash, where he carries his metal vials, and waves vigorously when Ellen asks if it's pointing at the metals. So what do you think the Mist Spirit means when the mists are not killing the men?
They're not killing
It's
them.
making them Allanancers.
Well, they're all dying, so.
No, they're just dying because they can't handle the power, but it's making them Allanancers.
You think that's why it's pointing at the metal vials?
Yes.
That was my next
100%.
question: is why do you think it's pointing at Ellen's metal vials?
Yeah, because it's trying to correlate the question of, the mist.
Imagine you need a metal to fucking live, and Ellen's like, "Wow, metal's okay."
Oh yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Give me the metals, I'm dying.
Oh jeez.
Need your Allomancy.
So the Mist Spirit seems to be
Oh.
fading.
Maybe that's why it was fading.
Why? Because it needs the
'Cause
Allomancy?
It got weak, right?
Mhm.
As Bruin got released, and what if it gave its last bit of power to the people by making them elementals?
It gave the last bit of this power to Ellen.
That's what I was hoping actually when
Yeah, that's why Ellen's so
when
much
they-
stronger than, normal.
So the Mist Spirit seems to be fading, and Ellen quickly asks if they can beat Ruin, if they can survive. And the Mist Spirit hesitantly waves. The Mist Spirit then fades away, and Ellen glances back towards his Kolos army, for some reason feeling stronger even though the Mist Spirit hadn't really given him any information. He felt that there was a possibility of survival that he couldn't see. So before Chapter 56 Epigraph, what were your thoughts about the Mist Spirit appearing to Ellen at this time, and about it disappearing like that?
Well, seeing as I didn't even remember the epigraph exists, I didn't even hear that fucking epigraph. I don't know why. I think it just melded in with the whole conversation. And I kind of lost interest in the conversation when he was just like, wave, not wave, partially wave, wave. What? I'm
That
like,
was
all right,
cute, though.
Ugh.
I was simping for them.
I'm sure you were.
I told y'all I was simping for the fucking Mist
Miss
Spirit.
Spirit. Yeah, no.
Yeah, like a while back, and now it makes sense.
Oh, what? It makes sense why you're crushing on them?
Yeah.
Because he's a god.
I mean, it does kind of make sense.
Oh,
It's
I was
like,
gonna say because he doesn't
you
talk.
have a god.
Oh.
You do have a god complex, so.
I don't like Ruin like that though.
Hey, that's just preference, all right? It doesn't change the fact you have a god complex.
Is it God complex or is it like what would
God
that
fetish? A god fetish?
even be? Imagine.
You.
Midnight, you can't be that dull to the world, all right?
What? Anyways, we get the exciting Chapter 56 Epigraph.
Ugh,
Yeah,
the boring one.
super exciting, yeah.
Yeah, the one that you totally remembered, Mythic.
Yeah, I totally remembered this.
So it says that Ruin died. Preservation won, and
And the
everybody's
whole
in
book
Marvel.
is over.
Alright, so it says, I don't know why Preservation decided to use his last bit of life appearing to Elend during his trek back to Fadrex. From what I understand, Elend didn't really learn that much from the meeting. By then, of course, Preservation was but a shadow of himself, and that shadow was under immense destructive pressure from Ruin. Perhaps Preservation, or the remnants of what he had been, wanted to get Elend alone. Or perhaps he saw Elend kneeling in that field and knew that the Emperor of Men was very close to just lying down in the ash and never to rise again. Either way, Preservation did appear, and in doing so exposed himself to Ruin's attacks. Gone were the days when Preservation could turn away an Inquisitor with just a bare gesture. Gone even were the days when he could strike a man down to bleed and die. By the time Elend saw the Mist Spirit, Preservation had been barely coherent. I wonder what Elend would have done had he known that he was in the presence of a dying god, that on that night he had been the last witness of Preservation's passing. If Elend had waited just a few more minutes on that ashen field, he would have seen a body, short of stature, black hair, prominent nose, fall from the mist and then slump dead into the ash. As it was, the corpse was left alone to be buried in ash. The world was dying. Its gods had to die with it. So what did you think about Preservation appearing to Elend when he was dying?
Thought Ellen would help, and Ellen disappointed. I'm already disappointed in Ellen, so.
Maybe he wanted a dying enemies to lovers trope after getting stabbed.
Oh my god.
What do you think about the corpse that apparently appeared after Preservation died?
I think we've already talked about this a little bit, but I think Darkness had the theory already about it being like the body, but the power still existing out there in the world because matter can't be destroyed. What's that?
Nothing.
Okay. Trying to give you praise and you're gonna deny it? Goddamn.
We go back to Spook's point of view as he looks at the board where he had written a bunch of plans and ideas. He needed to figure out a way to get
All in street slang.
Kellyon to reveal he was an Allomancer in front of a crowd of people. He felt confident that he was figuring out a plan, but also worried about a lot of things, such as what would happen if he failed in the riots that were being caused by him going around to see the people. Kelsier kept telling him not to worry, though. Baldur then enters Spook's room wearing a green and white...
Whoa. What was that? Of course.
Of course he's telling him not to worry. Kelsier's used to these sorts of things.
More and more I start thinking that she's concreting your theory, Darkness.
Yeah, me too.
What?
No. Go on.
Baldur then enters... Baldur then enters Spook's room wearing a green and white noblewoman gown that Spook had looted from a nobleman's house. Baldur glances at his notes, but can't make sense of them, and Spook mentions that it's written in Eastern street slang. Spook explains a little bit of the slang and then feels embarrassed when he speaks it a bit too much. Baldur though says it's charming and that it's gibberish on purpose, which is the best part.
I'm gonna make a theory here, and it's kind of an outlandish and probably not gonna be true theory, but I think the street slang itself is gonna become a prominent thing and is gonna be needed in some way, shape, or form. Like there's gonna be something written in Eastern street slang, or because the way that Ruin changes things, Eastern street slang is gonna have to be what they write in or something, so that they can communicate with one another.
Everyone can't understand Eastern street slang. He gets confused.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like, what the fuck? That's crazy. That would be so fucking funny, though.
It's just a theory.
Shit,
it's just a theory. A Mistborn theory.
All the whole history is written in, the fucking Eastern street sign. Watching the Not the Hero of Ages.
Oh my gosh. So,
Watching the Not the chapters.
What did you think about Baldur's excitement about Eastern street slang?
I mean, I was kind of hoping it was genuine, but I still keep feeling like she's just not a genuine person.
She wants to get in his good side.
Yep.
And smash and have multiple reasons.
I don't know about that part of it, but I still think she's trying to get on his good side.
He's gonna be a father of 20 at least.
Ooh, god damn, that's a lot of fucking kids.
So Baldur then asks what the board says, and Spook hesitates as it has his plans on it. Baldur realizes and looks away, but Spook feels bad and decides to tell her that he needs to get her brother to use allomancy in public. Spook says that most of his ideas aren't very good, and he's leaning towards just attacking Kellyon to get him to use allomancy. Baldur, however, says that won't work and that he won't expose himself. Spook replies that if he threatens him enough, he will use it.
I would hope he wouldn't expose himself. That's got to be a crime, right?
That he will use it, and that he didn't promise not to harm Kellyon, just to try not to kill him. Baldur falls silent, and Spook promises not to kill Kellyon. Baldur then asks if she can write a letter to her brother in hopes of convincing him to listen to Spook. Spook says he'll have to read it first to make sure she doesn't reveal anything that could hurt his position. He also thinks he'll have to rewrite it in case she has a secret code written into the letter. Do you think Beldre will be able to convince her brother to speak with Spook? Or do you think that's not even her plan?
That's her plan. It would be hilarious, though, if she starts writing in Eastern street slang, because he did say, I'll have to read it, so then like...
He rewrites it in Eastern street slang.
Oh my god, or that'd be even funnier.
Kellyanne's just like, what the fuck is this letter?
Like, is she getting dumber now? Holy shit.
What have they done to my sister?
They're just getting dumber, guys. Can you read this? Here, General, can you read this?
So Gordel then comes over to Spook and leads him upstairs to show him that the soldiers outside the ministry had left. Switch to Say's point of view as he, Bree, Spook, and Gordel discuss how this makes the plan to go after Kellyanne a bit easier, as they could get the soldiers out to help. They also wonder where the guards went. Bree suggests sending some scouts out to check, and Gordel glances at Spook for confirmation before going to do so. Sage finds it surprising to see Gordel looking to Spook for confirmation, but thinks that Spook has grown and that he is also respecting Spook more. They agree to move forward with the plan and then split up. So what do you think about Gordel kind of like seeming to respect Spook more and treat him more as like the leader?
He's the Lord of the Flames, right?
He is the Lord of the Flames.
Not even that. Just he's the one taking charge here, so it doesn't shock me that other people see that and they're like, "Hey, that's who we need to follow." Like I said, Spook is the underrated person, and he's going to be the best. Just wait till he becomes a Mistborn himself.
Sayes heads back downstairs, his coppermines on his arms for his engineering work. He thinks that he should be having more faith in the end of the world, but he doesn't, and he had gotten down his list of religions to just 30. Sayes then puts his mind back to the engineering project, overseeing the workers and then heading back over to his table. Spook then approaches, telling Sayes that there are riots in the city causing fires and that the soldiers had gone to stop the fires since most of the city was
causing fires, by the way. The Lord of the Flames, they're causing fires.
Oh. Sayes worries that things are becoming dangerous, but Spook thinks that it's good since Luthadel had also been on the verge of riots when they took down the Lord Ruler. Spook says that things will work out.
But we had Kelsey.
Yeah, Spook says that things will work out and notes that Sayes doesn't believe him, but Sayes says that he is struggling to have faith in anything at the moment. Do you think it's a good or bad thing that the people are rioting like this? Do you agree with Spook or Sayes?
I agree with Spook because Spook is awesome.
I was going to say the riots are awesome, but okay.
You want them to burn down the Wooden City, Darkness?
I don't know to burn
Darkness just wants chaos in general, so...
They walk around the underground lake together, and Sage asks if Spook ever worries that they'll fail when even the sky and land is against them. Spook, however, thinks that Sage is wondering if he doubts himself and says that he does wonder if they'll fail. Sage then feels horrified with himself for snapping at his friends and telling them that they're going to die. Spook, however, then says that he still thinks they'll be alright, and Sage is surprised to see hope in his eyes. Spook then says that faith means that it doesn't matter what happens. You can trust that somebody is watching. Trust that somebody will make it alright. Sage thinks that this is what he's lost and what he needs to get back. Do you think that Sage will get his faith and hope back?
All he has to do is open Pandora's box. Hope is right there.
He's not going to be Balance. He's going to be Hope.
No, he's going to be Balance.
He's going to be Sazed.
You think he's not going to become a god. I think he's going to become a god.
When did I say that?
Oh, I don't know. You said he's going to be Sazed. You think that's his name as a god?
Yeah. It's not Sazed, it's Sazed.
Sazed. Whoa. That's my name for him? Okay.
We move on to chapter 57, our final chapter. The epigraph is...
I read 58. What are you talking about?
Didn't you, liar?
I mean, I did, but, you know.
You read the epigraph.
Wait,
you always get the
no,
epigraph.
You read the whole book, right, Darkness?
No. The epigraph is, I have come to see that each power has three aspects. A physical one, which can be seen in the creations made by Rune and Preservation. A spiritual one in the unseen energy that permeates all the world. And a cognitive one in the minds which control that energy. There is more to this, much more that even I do not yet comprehend. So what do you think that means, and what do you think about these three aspects of power?
What are the three aspects of power again?
Physical, spiritual, and cognitive.
I don't even remember that.
Imagine that's the steps you need in order to actually become a god. And then the Lord Ruler did one of them, which is the creation one.
Who did he create?
He created the fucking... Koloss and Conjure and stuff, I think.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. That was definitely not him.
Man!
He just got accredited for it. He didn't actually do it. I mean, Contra are already wrong about a lot of things, so why wouldn't they be wrong about that? I bet you do. You have so much in common with the Lord Ruler.
What do you think the Hero of Ages means, though, by there is more to this, much more that even I do not yet comprehend? regarding these 3 aspects of power.
The Hero of Ages.
Yeah, the
right.
Hero of Ages is
What?
the one speaking the epigraphs.
No, it says it.
I thought it was Phased, yeah.
We've already established
I mean,
this.
if you're right about that, that means Sazed is the Hero of Ages. Me just saying that the Hero of Ages does not make
I don't think
your
I don't
theory
think-
any different.
I don't think he's the hero. of
The
ages,
first
okay?
epigraph is I
Hero-
am unfortunately the Hero
yeah.
of Ages.
He just states that. It doesn't mean he is the hero of ages. Okay, there could be like multiple people like the hero of ages. Okay.
That's what they call
Vin's the hero
themselves
of
at the
ages.
start of the
Vin is
epigraphs.
the
I'm
Vin
just
is the
saying.
hero of ages. Ellen's the hero of ages. Breeze is the hero of ages. Spook is the hero of ages.
Works is the Hero of Ages.
Is Beldre the Hero of
Exactly.
Ages?
I don't know who that is.
I feel like Beldre is Mythic's Alrian.
I don't know who that is. Who's that person? They can't be important. I don't know. I don't know him.
Yeah, they're not important.
I want that granny at that one tunnel to be the Hero of Ages.
I want what was the damn it? What was the name of the person in fucking the very first book we read?
Mob.
Yeah, that's it. I want Mabs to be okay.
I've been waiting for her return.
Yeah, we're all waiting for that, honestly.
I'm expecting her to run into the battle with a fucking ladle.
I'm coming.
I'm coming, honey. Bam.
I'll get him. I'll get that ruin.
Other thoughts about the 3 aspects of power?
There definitely is 3.
I'm just saying that the things that this person mentions they're confused by, such as there's been a couple epigraphs where they say that their things are outside their understanding currently. Those things may be important.
Wonder.
So we move back to Vin's point of view, as Ruin tells her that she should kill some guards that walk past her cell. She thinks that the one good thing about Ruin's voice is that it lets her know when people are nearby. She also feels that she learns something each time Ruin speaks to her. She had learned that Ruin could manifest as a person in front of her or speak to her at a distance. When at a distance, its words were much simpler and more vague. Vin then realizes that she has
Vague. It's more vague.
Vin then realizes that she still has control over the 1,000 kolos that Ellen had given to her. She wonders if she can use them to get a message to Ellen somehow, then dismisses that as she can't get the kolos to speak certain words, only do certain actions. Do you think Vin will be able to do something with the kolos to help her escape?
He's gonna initiate sexual activities with them.
Oh God. Can't say that.
Do you have any actual thoughts, Mythic?
What?
Like
That-
darkness?
What do you mean? That
Well,
was an
Mythic-
actual thought.
Mythic agrees.
Yeah.
Ruin then appears
It was
as Reed.
100% actual
No,
thought.
you
Like,
can't
what the
do
hell?
that shit. You can't just
Yeah,
move on.
that was 100% actual thought. What are you talking about?
Ruin then appears as Reen, saying that Yeoman finally found a cell for her. She thinks that she misses Bronze so that she could detect when Ruin was nearby. Ruin continues to speak, saying he's disappointed in her for sitting in her cell for a week. He also mentions that she hadn't even killed Yeoman, and Vin replies that she thought Yeoman was on his side. Ruin just replies that everyone is on his side, and that no one can
Well,
fight against him, as fighting just furthers his goals. Did you say something, Mythic?
I said, oh my God. Everybody's on my side.
Everyone's on my side. Ruin continues speaking, saying that all things end. Vin finds that something about the conversation
Including him.
bothers her. Why did Ruin care about her if he truly had one already? Ruin says that maybe out of everyone, Vin is the one that can understand him, and Vin realizes that he's gloating. Ruin had human emotions, ones that Vin could understand. If Ruin had humanity, Vin felt like she could stop him. What did you think about this apparent humanity in Ruin?
He took over bodies, so of course he's probably human a little bit. If he's human, he can bleed, and if he can bleed, he can die.
It takes 3 parts, right, for that power. Ruin is looking for his body, and I'm thinking it's like the original body.
He's using for the physical, the 3 parts.
Yeah.
The physical, spiritual, cognitive. So he has like the spiritual and cognitive aspects, but he doesn't have the physical aspects of his power.
Yeah. And so, what do we think preservation had then? Everything but the cognitive.
That's essentially Loki, yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they discussed that in the epigraph.
Yeah,
When
so
he
gave his consciousness basically for humanity.
So I'm assuming he gave his consciousness for Ruin's body.
Damn, that's unfortunate, because then that means that Sazed can't ever become a god, because man's definitely not cognitive.
Wow.
I'll trade you my body for your spiritual.
Yeah, I'll trade you my body for your cognitive.
No one wants to trade the spiritual.
Fuck
Because
the
spirituals are like energy cards in Pokemon.
Oh God. Just aren't needed, and
Nobody wants them, but everybody needs them.
So an earthquake suddenly begins, and Vin can hear the guards outside the room cursing. Ruin, however, looks to be in bliss as the building and city rumbles. Ruin says that this is about passion and change, and that passionate people will destroy for both good and evil reasons. Vin thinks that Ruin feels like he's overcome something, but isn't sure exactly what could be a force against him. She then thinks back to the first rule of Elemancy, that everything has a consequence. Ruin must have an opposite. Vin asks what Ruin did to his opposite, and Ruin hesitates, then smiles, stating that preservation is dead. He technically didn't kill him, but he is gone, and the bargain has come to its fruition. Vin states out loud that Ruin hadn't been able to create by himself, and Ruin replies that preservation couldn't do anything by himself either. Ruin says that he had promised to work with preservation to create life that thinks and loves, and preservation had promised to let Ruin eventually destroy it. Vin wonders if something like preservation could really be destroyed, and Ruin states that preservation really is dead. So
I find that funny because it's a lot like the way I pictured it is Ruin is that small child who is building the like skyscraper with blocks and just to smash it all down. It's literally all he's doing. He's like, oh, I'm gonna build this whole thing up, and now I'm gonna break it all down.
Yeah, they're like a toddler
Preservation?
getting their parent to help them build a tower,
No,
and then they
ruin.
smash it.
Yeah,
And then
ruin.
preservation's the other kid trying to put little people in there.
Yep, exactly. Trying to preserve it. Yeah.
So
You see, I was the child who would break it, so.
I would get upset if it got broken. I'm more like preservation.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Breaking it down
and
is
then
the best part.
I'd be the one in the like completely different because I'd be ruining it and helping it stay preserved by putting glue on all of the blocks as you're building.
Oh no! Oh no!
So we've kind of talked about this, but my question here was: do you think that preservation being dead means that its powers are completely gone? Which I believe your
No.
answer was no.
Yeah.
No.
Matter can't be
You
destroyed.
need to get better questions, Midnight.
Yeah, really. Like I can't believe like we already answered that question. Like God.
Ruin then says that preservation tried to escape their bargain, and that doing so is an evil deed. That this is not about good versus evil, as that has little to do with Ruin or preservation.
I agree with this.
Vin thinks that something is still keeping Ruin from destroying everything. Ruin says that he wants Vin to see the end of the world and states that it isn't far away. More than days, but less than weeks. Vin thinks that Ruin wouldn't have come to gloat unless he thought that he won because Vin had been captured. So she needs to escape, as that means that there is still a way to stop this. Do you agree that Ruin only believes he has won because Vin is trapped by Yeoman? Do you think there's a way that she can stop
Totally.
him?
Yeah, totally.
Darkness?
Why are you
He's the one
asking
that
the
can
same
stop
question?
Ellen, so.
Wait. Why are you asking the same question that I already asked Darkness? Like, why
Not
are
the
you
exact
taking
same
my
question.
questions? Why are you taking my questions?
I'm not taking
Midnight?
your questions.
Like, that was my question.
Not your
I asked that question.
I think we need a new separate podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Just me and Darkness.
Yeah. Sorry, Midnight.
You guys are nothing without me.
You know what's funny is that's not true because me and Darkness would just read the whole book and then have a podcast on it.
Oh.
All right, I'll see you guys in a month. Let me read this book real quick. We'll have a monthly podcast. We'll have a monthly podcast.
We could just read it and discuss it like on the spot, bro.
On the spot, yeah, yeah, that too.
Anyway.
Anyways. So that was the end of final chapter, chapter 57. I have a couple overview questions. The first is, do you think that Tensoon will ever end up meeting up with Vin, considering he's going to Urto instead of towards Fadrex?
Oh no! What if he dies? No.
I think
Honestly, with the way.
I definitely think he'll meet Vin. He's got to show Vin the trust.
Oh yeah, the choice. Wait, no. If they don't, they have to. They explain what the trust is, right?
They have
They
not
haven't
really
explained
explained what
it
the
yet,
trust is.
No, but they will.
Oh, they will explain what the trust is.
Yeah,
yes.
everything is explained. That's what.
I don't believe that.
Everything
bro.
important to the current
Everything
plot
gets explained, is what she said.
Everything important to the plot is explained.
Everything's important to the plot, so.
The trust will be explained.
Yeah, everything will be explained, exactly.
Yeah, so you guys both think that she's still, her and Tensoon are still going to meet up?
Yes, 100%.
No.
No?
Oh,
I think Tetsu's gonna fucking die before that.
Oh. Alright, tell me, how do you think he's gonna die? What do you think kills him?
Helping fucking what's his name?
Ruin?
No, the ones in the city he's going to.
Spook and stuff?
Yeah.
He's going to go there, have to help them, and then he's never going to get to Vin. He's going to die.
Yep.
The way Midnight said that, it's almost like she wants him to die.
No, I don't want Tensoon to die. I love Tensoon. My next question was, do you think Vin will be able to escape from Yeoman's palace? Or do you think she's going to have
Yes,
to be saved?
100%. No, I think she's gonna
Oh,
escape. I definitely think she's gonna escape on her own.
why doesn't she just? She has like control of the Colossus still, right?
Yeah, but she's worried that like if she says that she's worried that if she sends in the Koalas to try and come get her, that like it's gonna ruin any plans that Ellen may have.
But do it anyway. The fuck?
Wait, if you have control of the Colossus, does that mean that she could make it so that like Ellen, like tell Ellen, pretty much?
No, they said that they can't use words.
Yeah, she said that she can't give them like specific enough stuff to make them say certain things.
So don't say anything. Write things. That's an action.
Well, Bruin's gonna change that.
Write it in Eastern Street slang.
That's
They
the
don't have
best
spook there to
solution.
translate though.
Send the Colossus spook.
The Koala.
Or just start marching the fucking Colossus in. I'm sure they'll see it and they'll be like, "Who's controlling the Colossus?"
March them towards it. Get almost there, and then Ellen's gonna be like, "Why the fuck are they here?"
She just needs to like make them get into like an arrow or something, like form into like an arrow position.
Oh my god, just point.
Point.
Come get me.
We should make them wear gowns.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Why?
like they can like recreate Ellen and her dancing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Jesus.
Man, I'm just seeing a bunch of Koalas dance together.
I would love that, bro. That would be so fucking funny.
Honestly, I feel like if I was able to control Colossus, I would do stupid shit like that. Like, I want to see you dance. Just dance for me.
You just hear like their fucking skin flapping in the wind,
Oh god.
hairs here and there.
So my final overview question was, how do you think they're going to stop Ruin? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, they're gonna bring preservation back, and preservation's gonna kill, or not kill. Sorry, preservation's gonna trap them again.
I think a new preservation is gonna rise up.
No, I honestly feel like they're gonna kill each other, like, and then their spirit or whatever is gonna go into Sazed, and Sazed's gonna become balance, hope, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Have we forgotten about the fucking thing that they were looking for?
The ATM?
Whatever was in that fucking place.
Well, she thought the ATM was there, yeah.
Yeah, but instead she found a hole to die in.
The ATM was not in the cavern, but she thinks that Yoma moved it out. We don't have confirmation yet of if.
Wait, so it
actually
is
was there or
ATM.
not. That's what she's looking for, Vin. Vin was wondering.
No,
if
but
it
I'm
was
saying
there.
like whatever is in there, like 'cause we still haven't seen it.
Oh,
We
whatever
haven't
the
been-
specialty was? Yeah, we don't know what the specialty was at that cavern yet.
Yeah,
You didn't get a lot of light to look
that's
around.
pissing me off. Like I want to know, bro. And like that was the whole point of like half of the fucking book to lead up to what the fuck was in there. Pero no, we can't fucking see that shit yet. So
Like, are you
No.
into Spanish there, Chris?
Yeah, you know, better no.
it's so fucking annoying, bro. Like that actually is angering me a little.
Well, did you guys have any other theories or things that you wanted to discuss from these chapters?
Oh my god, what if? No, that's too much. I was gonna say, you know how there's balance, there's preservation, and ruin. What if Says, Vin, and Ellen become the new threesome?
Oh my god.
What?
Well, no, because I think with balance you have to have both. So that's my theory. Is balance is having both preservation and ruin together.
Balance is
As
the
one.
catalyst.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Darkness has had the
They
theory
got-
that the deepness is basically its own god.
Oh, I want the deepness.
What
to
if
be
it
its
is though? What if that's
Balance?
What, that's
Oh my
what
God,
his
that means-
balance has to fight? Yeah.
own- No, I mean that. Well, maybe, but that means Says has to be in between Ellen and Vin at all times.
Okay, so I know I'm gonna take a page out of Darkness's book here. We do get to know what the deepness is by the end of this book, right?
Yes.
Midnight.
Yes.
Okay.
Alright. So for next episode, we'll be doing chapters 58 through 65.
How much
And-
longer do we have for this book?
3
There's
more chapters.
three more episodes. So we're gonna have this next one and then 2 more episodes after. There's gonna be 11 episodes total. We just finished episode 8.
Man, it's almost like I just knew that and totally didn't just pull the number out of the ether.
We're also gonna be starting part 5, starting on chapter 59, which is called Trust.
Ha! The trust.
Oh, so he does meet up with them.
Yeah, 100%. The trust.
Not called The Trust, it's just called Trust.
Yep, trust. The trust. Got it.
But yeah, so chapters 58 through 65 for next week. Lots of chapters again. Very short chapters in this book, and also we're kind of... Are we technically? I don't think we're technically... Just the Sandra Lunch technically hit.
This is the Sanderlanche. Totally is. Totally the same.
This is where a lot of people start dying, right?
I hope. Start seeing people
We
murdering
already
each
saw a
other.
couple deaths. So.
Yeah. Nobody important though.
No, just the fucking god.
Yeah, nobody important though.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what exact chapter they count the standard launch as starting of. But anyways, yeah. So let's look forward to it for next time. Goodbye. Thank you everyone for watching and listening.
Bye.
Bye.